By the end of this video, you're going to be equipped, ready to buy your first investment property this year. You just got to do it scared. By the way, my name is Rosie, and I kind of bought 5 investment properties in just 3 months. 90 days, 5 houses, 5 tenants. So I might have a thing or two to get you ready to buy your first investment property this year. Let's get into it. I want you to think about this process like creating or cooking a cultural delicacy. It takes time. There's prep to it before you actually get to make the food. Like, you don't just get up and go make it, right? There's prep and process to it. So what is that prep and process for you to be prepared to buy your first investment property? Number 1, get your credit together. You know, in this business, I always say there's 2 types of folks in this business. You either got the cash and you're just transitioning it from one vehicle to the next, or you've got your credit. You are your credit in this business. So I want you to double down and take control of your credit. In today's world, from Equifax to TransUnion to Experian, they all have platforms that allow you to sign up for free. Take advantage of it. Go in there, see what's going on with your credit. Like just a few weeks ago, I got a collection come in from one of the telecommunication companies that I don't even recall ever having them. But that's the thing. Companies can put anything on your credit, and it's up to you to take control and be able to argue that and get that off, right? And this was a perfect example. I was like, where does this come from? I took the necessary letters, I sent it out, I sent it to the 3 bureaus, I sent it to that company that was claiming whatever it was, and they obviously didn't have proof. Boom, it was taken off. And especially Experian, they do not play. They take that thing off in like 24 to 48 hours. That's the level of control I want you to start having in your own life, to be able to make and build a life that you desire. We're going to be building the foundations of what financial security looks like for us. We're going to be building the foundations of what generational wealth looks like for us. So yes, get that credit together. And the crazy thing is, it actually does not take a lot of time. You double down on it in literally 6-8 months, under a year, you can completely transform your credit. Like, I have the wheels on my credit now that I know exactly what to do if I'm going to pay off this mortgage, or pay a little bit more on this mortgage, or pay this or pay that. I literally know how to shift the gears to get my credit to a point where I have the say or the buying power from a lender to be able to buy more properties. So get that credit together. I can do a separate video to go more in depth on exactly what you need to do to help make sure you're building the credit and building it in a way that lenders will see you as desirable to lend to, because that's where we want to get you to be able to buy your first investment property. So I talked about this cooking this national treasure dish, and I talked about process, right? So now we taking care of the credit. We're prepping. We still haven't made the meal yet. So what's the next thing? We need to look at lending options. I'm such a big advocate for what has been created for us to be able to leverage. Let's take, for instance, an FHA loan, okay? Now, I didn't use the FHA the first time around because I had leveraged other investment vehicles for the past few years to be able to build up my cash and be able to go directly in. But if I was starting, I had my job, I was kind of building my credit, I will leverage an FHA, but not the way that you think. This is because I don't want you to fall for the shiny idea of buying this beautiful home and like that's it. Because what happens is you put yourself in a place of a liability where, for instance, what if you lost your job? What if the only source of income that you have coming in paying your mortgage is no longer there? Instead, I want us to rethink what it means about buying our first home. Let's look at leveraging the FHA 203K loan or just the FHA program to buy up to 4 doors. They allows you to buy a multifamily or residential multifamily, as they call it, 4 doors. And the goal here is you're fixing it up. So you go for a home that is the worst on the best block, because what we're going to do is force a little bit of appreciation when you fix up the home. And, you know, this might seem like a lot of work, but you got to think about what you're building for. You got to think about you creating your financial foundation and also doing it for your kids in the future. Because think about it. If you were to buy 4 doors at your first buy, you fixed up this one of the first home, you live in it with your family, you go ahead and take your time and fix the other 3, you rent the other 3. You repeat this process, let's say every 2 years, and you're allowed to do that, by the way, on the FHA and buying another home in a different area. I can go more in depth about that. Imagine you do that for a 10-year streak, every 2 years, being able to buy a 4-unit property in 10 years. You have, girl, maybe I should have calculated. Anyways, in 10 years, let's say you've been able to do this 5 times. That is 20 doors. 20 doors in the span of just 10 years. Now you'll have the flexibility of not having to work if you don't have to, but more importantly, you bought your time back. You've built foundational wealth that secures you, that secures your children, your family. And you get to buy that beautiful dream home, that home that you've desired for, that new build. Let's start tapping back into delayed gratification, because this is exactly what I'm describing here. You know, also the beauty about an FHA program is there are local programs. There are local programs that will help you even cover your down payment. You have your 2 years of work history, your credit, you're building that solidly and nicely. You are managing your debt to income ratio. That's basically the debt that you're taking on as an individual versus the income that's coming in. Your second option with funding is your traditional conventional loan. That's the route that I went in. But see, with that loan, if you're buying a multifamily or residential multifamily, you're going to have to put a bit more down, anywhere from 10 to 15%, depending on the lender, and the interest rate might be slightly higher. But once again, you get a bit more negotiation power when your credit is nice and strong. Before I even started playing this game, I built my credit in the low 500s all the way close to 800, and I did that solely by myself. You can pull your credit for free at annualcreditreport.com, not sponsored, but even more importantly, go specifically to the 3 bureaus. You can log in, you don't have to pay. Click the free option and you'll be able to see what's on your profile. Let's start taking charge of our finances to be able to start building the foundation that allows us to have our time, allows us to make decisions on jobs and careers. That's not because I just need a job and I need money coming in, but because I'm looking to create impact on an organization. Or if things are not going well, I have the power to be able to step back. I'm speaking from a place where I didn't have that option, that it wasn't until things went completely under that I had to pick myself up and build. I'm grateful to be in a position now where if I don't have to go back to corporate, because as a Black woman in corporate America, another day, another minute, but to have the opportunity where I spend my time when I want to, my Mondays, I take it off. If I don't have anything important planned, I make sure that I'm careful in the tenants that I bring into the homes, because a wonderful tenant who takes care of the home is a peace of mind tenant. So I'm the new girl on the block here, right? But apparently there's like an algorithm and there's likes, and the point is I'm building a community where I can share my journey and help you be able to build your financial future and secure that generational wealth. So subscribe to this video, like, or subscribe to the channel. See, I don't even know what's happening, okay? But let me know if you have any specific questions on this journey so that I can create valuable videos for you and get you set up in building your financial future. So you see how throughout this whole process, I harped about getting your credit together. Then I talked a bit about the different lenders. The beautiful thing with conventional is when you got that credit together, your DTI is nice and strong, they will work with you to give you great numbers. The slight plus about that is it moves quicker, and that was one of the reasons why I leveraged that, because I was in a position to do that. And I'm gonna uncover the curtains, okay? Because I didn't have somebody like me who looked like me in this space. I was in here bumping my knees, my legs, figuring things out. And now that things have stabilized, I've built a portfolio. I have over a dozen homes. My cash on cash, which is basically my profit, is over 22%. The average nationally is like 12%. So your sis is doing something right. I am about to share my journey, and hopefully it inspires you. It inspires you to take action. So from there, right, I use this analogy of like, let's prepare this cultural national dish, because something like that takes time. It takes process. I want you to have all those things aligned for you as you prepare to buy your first investment property. Then you look into buying homes. Now you're starting to do the Zillow searches or whatever and look at homes. I didn't talk about that in the beginning because, honey, that comes way in the end, okay? So you want to look at homes that are near hospitals, near schools, because it will attract a good audience for you to be able to be picky and choosy on whom you rent to. So you went through the process, you got pre-approved with one of the lending options I spoke about. Being new, I would highly advise going with a realtor. But what people don't realize is you can interview your realtor. Just because somebody is a realtor or knows somebody, no, honey. Interview your realtors to see if they know. And you're like, well, what am I going to ask them? Google the questions that you need to ask your realtor to see if they're well informed. This is a season of taking responsibility of our finances, taking responsibility of our own generational wealth, taking responsibility of our own accounts. There should be no reason, if you're joining this family, that we should be living paycheck to paycheck. That if we were to lose our jobs tomorrow, we wouldn't know what to do with our lives 3-6 months from today. We're building out in a way where the friends that we met in school, where their parents have done it for them, our parents have done the best that they could. It's now time for us to take the torch and build for ourselves. So I've given you the 3 highlights. Where are you at in your stage of buying your first investment property? And which of those 3 steps do you want me to delve deeper into? What would you like to see about my journey? I've got a lot in store, but I also want to hear what you want to know and learn as you build your portfolio in building and securing your financial future. So babes, I believe in you, but you gotta do it scared. If you'd like to learn about how I built up my cash reserves, at least from the get-go, check out this video here. I'll see you there.